Hey, yo, what up, man? So, this is going to be my little take on the whole thing I'm noticing about the UFC great white hypes that happen. And the reason why I'm saying it's great white hypes because the first one, of course, was the biggest one was Ronda Rousey. I remember when Ronda Rousey came on the scene, and Ronda Rousey was beating everybody, and she's putting people in the arm bar, and just completely dominating and running through women like it was nothing, right? Even to the point of where I had white dudes telling me at work, "Oh man, she'd whoop your ass, bro. You have no chance. She'll put you in an arm bar." And I was like, "Look, man, listen, okay? If your bitch ass think that some woman is gonna whoop you, by all means, hey, you say that to you. But I'm telling you, dog, okay? I know they did the BS promos and things where one of the dudes, I forget who he was, a dude that kept getting knocked out for some point in time. I can't think of his name to save my life, but if you know what I'm talking about, put his name in the comments, where UFC did this promo of them working out, and pretty much he let her get him in an arm bar, and to be like, oh, she could get anybody or whatever. She was doing cameos on shows and everything. She was just unstoppable until what happened. She ran into somebody that was the real deal Holyfield, you say back in the day. The champ, the women's double champ, the Lioness. I can't, man. I'm horrible with names, but anyway, until she started getting whooped. And of course, first she lost to Holly Holm. Holly Holm gave her that fucking head kick, gave her that NyQuil, put her to sleep. And then, after she lost for the first time, they kept building her back up, building her back up, building her back up. She came back. Holly Holm lost to the woman that will also become the champ, the current champ now. And they talked her and hyped her up to the point she came back, and that was her first fight. That was her first fight, was the fight for the championship belt. And lo and behold, she crashed and burned, and that was it from her. She ran from real fighting to, entertainment fighting over the WWE. All right. Now we have the same thing going on with Conor McGregor. Listen, bro, Conor McGregor is done. All right, he's done. All right, he's an asshole. Again, shout out to Floyd Mayweather. Conor McGregor is an Irish Floyd Mayweather. He's controversial. And he's more disrespectful. And he hasn't proven as much as he did. But because of his bravado and his bad boy attitude and all this BS, and he's a white dude with a country behind him, UFC is going to push him. Okay. The problem is, it's twofold. And this is why I'm not going to say the UFC is racist. It's not a racism problem because, for one, black people don't give a damn about MMA. All right? MMA. They don't. Black people don't care, don't like, don't watch. That's not their demographic. Combat sports, black people really haven't cared since like the 90s, the Tyson era. And then when Floyd came back, Floyd was like a one of one. No one cared about Shane Mosley like that. No one cared about Winky Wright like that. No one even cared about I always forget his name too, Andre Ward like that. Okay, after the heavyweight era of the 90s was pretty much over with, and of course in the 80s and stuff, you had the Sugar Ray Leonards, the Marvin Haglers, the Tommy Hearns, and all those things. Black people just fell off of combat sports. You really didn't pay attention to it. And the thing about it is, again, man, black men have always dominated boxing. All right, again, right now you have most of the champions are black. The premier guys in the sport of boxing are black, but because, again, black people don't really care about boxing like that, you know what I'm saying? That's why you don't see a lot of black fighters fighting other black fighters. And the biggest draw is going to be a person with a country behind you. Manny Pacquiao, your Canelo Alvarez, your Gennady Golovkins, and all those different things. And what the UFC understands is, and especially being an MMA is an international thing and been around a whole lot longer in the world than it has been in the States, they're going to go where their bread is buttered. Okay, a person with a country behind them is way better than a fighter with just a state behind them, or even America, which is like sparse or whatever when it comes to combat sports. So The issue and problem the UFC has right now is they keep trying to force feed people Conor McGregor when he's clearly washed, okay? When Conor McGregor lost that fight to Nate Diaz, I was just like, bruh, he's done. Like, come on, fam. Like, the dude has this whole thing where, okay, he's such a good striker. He's such a good striker. He's not, and I'm just like, oh my God. I'll never forget when the other little guy that was dominating him, and the dude gassed himself out. He caught him with a left hand, and then pretty much that was it of the fight. But the dude, you get Conor McGregor on the ground, bro, he's done. That's the formula. There's no secret about it. You get Conor McGregor on the ground, he's done. The way he lost to Nate Diaz the first time, he got his ass choked the fuck out. He got choked out because he got no ground defense. He got no ground game, he got no ground defense. You get him down, bro, it's it. It's over. He's done. So, but the problem the UFC has now is all the champions are black. Alright? All the champions are black. And even when you had black champions, you got people that were far, far better. Demetrius Johnson was way better than Conor McGregor will ever be. Conor McGregor is nowhere near as good as fucking Demetrius Johnson. John Jones never be as good as him. He's not as good as DC was. DC just didn't have the charisma. He's just not a people person. He just wasn't likable. So you couldn't sell DC if you wanted to. But John Jones, bro, John Jones had any and everything you could ever want. You could be an arguable GOAT in MMA. The only reason why Anderson Silva got the promo he did, even though he's a black Brazilian or whatever, but it's Brazil, okay? That's why they rode the Anderson Silva train earlier on, when he had his streak and everything going. But as you see, as soon as Ronda Rousey came along and Conor McGregor and all these other people, they even threw him to the wolves. They didn't care. But the problem they're having now is, again, you have 3 champions in the UFC with belts that are not only black, but they're African. And the problem that you're going to have with African-based fighters is that Africa just doesn't generate revenue like that. Africa doesn't support MMA like that because, it's Africa, right? Africa don't even support boxing like that. So that's the problem they're having with the whole, the black champions that's going on UFC is black people already don't care about MMA, okay? And they're not going to connect with the African fighters, not the African American, but an African fighter. And they're going to try and stick to this age-old, great white hype game plan or blueprint, because it worked for them before. The problem is, though, again, these fighters just cannot last. Once they get exposed, bro, that's it. They're exposed. And the bad thing about it is, if you were to use Tyron Woodley as like a juxtaposition for Conor McGregor, even Tyron Woodley was up out of there, and they weren't. As soon as Tyron Woodley lost, bro, and he had a pretty good streak as champ. As soon as he lost to Kamaru Usman, of course, right? He was done. He wasn't getting no big fights, none of that stuff or whatever. They weren't talking him up. Not, the dominant this and the best and all these big promos. No, man. So the UFC is going to have to figure something out, okay? UFC is going to have to market their non-white fighters better, okay? Again, it's not racist, it's just business, all right? A lot of people are going to say, oh, it's racism. Well, no, it's not racism, man. It's understanding, again, the money, follow the money as far as the sport and the support and all of those different things, man. But yeah, I'm tired of Conor McGregor, bro. I am. I'm just tired of Conor McGregor. Like, please, let this dude go off and do celebrity boxing or something else, or I don't know. But please, bro, stop putting this dude on UFC. Stop giving this dude and making this dude a headliner like he's just this most awesome thing to ever happen. Conor McGregor doesn't rank top 10 all time, bro, as far as MMA. No event, like, stop it. All right, he just doesn't. He doesn't have the resume of any of when I say any, but he doesn't have of a lot of fucking other fighters, especially black fighters. He doesn't have the resume of Dan Cormier. He doesn't have the resume of John Jones. He doesn't have the resume of Demetrius Johnson. He doesn't have the resume of even Adesanya right now. Adesanya's got a better streak than him. Adesanya lost in his thing trying to go up for the 2 belts thing, but still, like, that's his first loss in the UFC, you know. And even then, he wasn't dominating, he wasn't knocked out, he wasn't finished, any of those things, bro. This dude's been finished in what, his last 2 out of the last 3 fights? Nah, because he beat Cowboy and he lost to Poirier. So 3 out of his last 4 fights, he was pretty much finished. And well, he broke it, bro. He was finished, bro. He was done. All right, he was done. Poirier finished his ass in that last fight. I don't even want to. That's why they did it as a KO, TKO. All right, he was done. All right. So again, man, the UFC is going to have to market better to its non-white demographic. Okay, but then again, like I said, man, you know, if people just aren't interested, they're not interested, and you're going to go to where who's going to pay you the money and all those different things. So that's that on that one, man. I'll catch y'all on the next one.